Okay, gumbo it is.
What if there was a way to feed the hungry and at the same time give them dignity?
The answer is this simple token.
We developed the currency of caring to act as a form of payment for participating restaurants and food trucks, and is a key to providing a warm, dignified meal to those who need it most.
You want to try something new?
Donations fuel the currency. Now helping feed others has never been easier.
Either as a participating restaurant, food truck operator, or as someone who wants to pay it forward by donating. Please visit currencyofcaring.com because food really is love.
How do you become the top online seafood company in the United States? You earn it. We are the only company that catches, processes, and directly sells seafood right to our customers. We have a 4.9 Google rating with over 800 reviews and the highest customer satisfaction. To have the best seafood delivered right to your door, order from the original, WildAlaskaSalmonandSeafood.com. Look for my face on the logo to ensure you're getting the best. Now you know the guy that caught your dinner.
When you think about Napa Valley, you probably think about sweeping vineyard views, fancy parties, and flowing wine. That's all well and good, don't get me wrong, but I have enjoyed my share of parties, and personally, I've invested a lot of money drinking the wines from here.
That stuff is good.
So I didn't come to Napa Valley to be seen at the social hotspots or taste the newest vintages. I came for something different this time, where good wine flows, good food usually follows. I'm here to see my old friend Lars Kronmark and define the Napa Valley food connections that you probably didn't know existed. As a chef, I need to stay curious in order to evolve. For me, that means looking beyond a good meal to learn more about who made it and what inspires them to cook. Every great city has great food. I'm going on a journey around the world. I'm on a quest to find passionate chefs who cooks from the heart, to prove that food is love.
Gotta be delicious. Food is love. Love your food.
To most, Napa Valley is ground zero for great American wine. For me, it was a place to stay with my family friend Lars Kronmark when I first came to America. Back in Denmark, Lars was a student of my father.
I'm so excited. I'm going to see my friend Lars Kronmark. He's an instructor at the Culinary Institute of America. We've been friends for, 30 years, and he's a big reason why I'm actually in the United States.
I'm meeting him for a quick breakfast at one of his favorite roadside spots at Napa. Seeing him again is personally nostalgic. As he lays out the plan for the rest of our visit, I can't help but wonder where all the time has gone.
Joe Gutt is a local winery owner, and he said, we need something, this gas station going downhill. So he bought it. You can still get gas, but he turned this into, from a repair shop and a little bit of oil and some bad cigarettes, to a organic, complete, super top-notch.
Around here, Lars is known as the mayor of Napa Valley. It only makes sense that my old friend be the one to show me what lies beyond the typical tourist route. Our first stop is a place called the Terraces. When you talk about a winemaking region like Napa Valley, it's a given that food will enter the chat. But there's something there's just as connected to the grapes here that isn't wine: balsamic vinegar.
And we're gonna actually learn about how to make balsamic vinegar the Italian way. And Tim is the only one I know in California who makes vinegar this way. The only one. Not only does he grow the grapes, but he goes through the entire procedure.
Tim Kroll is the proprietor here at the Terraces, and right away it's clear that we share the same philosophy.
The founder of Burning Man believed strongly in the fact that if you get a group of people, regardless of their political or any beliefs, if you get them together over a meal, they find common ground.
For all the romanticizing there's done about wine, it's the balsamic vinegar that actually deserved the swooning and attention. Making balsamic is an art, a long process that requires patience and skill. Some of the barrels in this cellar are over 20 years old.
And this is sort of a bad trait, but in any hobby, I just dig deep.
I mean, this doesn't look like a hobby anymore.
Well, no, it started with V6.
Okay.
In 94.
Okay.
And it's gone out, it's become...
It got out of hand?
Got out of hand. Welcome to my personality. That's a problem.
The payoff to get a small amount of this stuff can take decades. In fact, it takes so long to do it the right way, it's almost not even financially viable to make it. But when something is your passion, money usually isn't your first concern.
But throughout the food world, there are people who do things to make exceptional products with no concern for the economics. If we go back to Modena, and batteries like this might be 150 years old. So when a child is young, like my children were young, they were this tall when we started doing this. I'm gonna be long dead. They're gonna come in here and they're gonna harvest some. And forever, I'm part of this barrel because you never harvest it all. And that's a rare thing. And the Italians say you make balsamic for your grandchildren. You don't make it for yourself.
So the essence of making balsamic vinegar is time.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the traditional way of tasting.
All right.
Thumb up a little bit. Then make it real
Wow.
That stuff is great. That stuff is good. That's pretty good.
The people who visit us are into food and wine. You know, they're here for food and wine.
Yeah.
So to educate people on, most people go to Trader Joe's, nothing against Trader Joe's, but they'll go to Trader Joe's, they'll see a rack of vinegars and it says 15-year-old, 10-year-old. It's a bunch of baloney. Some portion might be, but it's also vinegars that were adulterated with red wine vinegar, caramel coloring, all kinds of other things. It has nothing to do with what we're doing here. So this is the bottle. So this is 100 mLs. So for 100 milliliters of balsamic, it's seen 299 full moons. It has 29 pounds and it went through 9 different barrels. So
There's a lot of love in it.
love.
Yes.
There should be a lot of love in everything we do.
There should be.
If there isn't love, you should find something else to do.
Appropriately to end our balsamic education here at the terraces, something to eat and drink. As it turns out, Tim also makes exceptional wine and apple cider, both of which complement his balsamic in different ways. Some Parmesano and balsamic with a little bread is all you need. One taste and I perfectly understand Tim's obsession. It's unbelievable.
Almost like a chocolate sauce.
Yeah, it has this, it's just so good with the vanilla ice cream. Dig in.
For the finale, balsamic on ice cream, my mind is blown.
It takes on a new dimension with ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaving here with a newfound appreciation for good balsamic vinegar.
Delicious.
You break bread together and there's something special about that.
There is.
Yeah.
And that's because food is love.
Food is love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming by.
Should have known Lars would have the inside scoop. Okay, enough with the puns. In light of the amount that I have contributed to the California wine industry, it wouldn't be right to come to Napa without visiting some kind of winery. And Hourglass is the picturesque spot that Lars has taken me to. Here we are meeting owner, operator, and rock and roller Jeff Smith, whose path didn't always seem destined to find him in the wine industry.
Have you have aspirations of becoming a winemaker all your life? Or?
No, it's a second career for me in some respects.
But you're a rock star too, right?
Well, I learned how to play guitar as a sophomore in high school, and I got good enough at it that I could start writing songs. And by the time I graduated high school in 1982, that was my true first love.
Besides Jeff's obvious swagger, a James Bond-like wine cave gives this tour an edge over the typical winery.
Oh my.
This is not a little normal little tasting. So there was nothing here.
There was nothing here. There was nothing here. This wasn't even an idea. This was a half a box of dynamite that turned into this room. We basically just freestyled with the dynamite. We just started blasting and cutting and blasting and cutting, and they said, how will we know when it's done if it's not planned? And these I'm dealing with engineers, so they have to have the mathematical equation of everything.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea. I'll feel it. It's a feel thing, right?
Yeah.
So we just blasted and blasted and blasted, and we got this, and I'm like, yeah, this feels right. It's intimate enough, but it's got some space. I wanted to be able to walk from the normal cave and step down into it and have it sort of open up a little cathedral-like as you walked into it.
And speaking of the edge, the halls of this wine cave has been graced by more musical influence than just its founder.
The bank wants me to see some VIPs. Well, here's what we'd like you to do. We want you to cook them dinner at the winery and entertain them. And I said, who is it? And they said, it's the Edge from U2 and his wife Morley. And I went, oh my God, one of my all-time hero guitar players. When we brought him in, just like you had walked into this room, he paused and he made everybody get really quiet, and he just listened, and he was, oh my God, the acoustics in this room are amazing, just absolutely amazing. I would love to come and record an acoustic guitar in here. Well, he hasn't been back to do it yet, but he has a standing invitation. But it'll be kind of nice to walk through the vineyards, get a sense of what it looks like in the spring.
Outside, neat vineyard rows are kept neat in part by a herd of sheep, and a stroll through the vines with Jeff feels like a walk through a dream, even as surrounding hills still show signs of the wildfire that nearly decimated this place in 2020. But that did not stop Jeff.
We were referring to this as the boneyard.
Okay.
And this all burned in 2020.
An Airstream oasis in the middle of the vineyard adds to the cool factor. And as fate would have it, it has an outdoor kitchen. Lucky for Jeff and I, Lars is prepared to make us lunch. And lucky for Lars and I, Jeff is pouring some of his best work.
This is the OG. This is the Hourglass Estate Cabernet Sauvignon.
For every complaint I may have ever aired about the plight of being a TV host, it's moments like these when it feels like I might have gotten it right. Exceptional wines, exceptional company and conversations, and rock stars like Jeff are the kind of people that I like to hang out with.
You know, I just can't believe I'm so lucky to be here in Napa Valley making pizzas with these kings over here. This is freaking great.
That's a perfect dough right there. At the end of the day, wine is its ultimate purpose is as a connector. That's ultimately what it does. And this is around the dinner table. This is it right here.
So in Denmark we say mad kærlighed.
Oh man.
And that means food is love.
Oh, I love it.
Mad kærlighed.
You have to have a looser tongue. Give me another couple sips of wine and then I can do it.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Being embedded in the scene here for as long as he has, Lars is up on where the locals gather, mainly because he knows them all.
Both Eric and John makes wine all over the place, and Brent, he just fish all the day.
This afternoon, we've been invited to a backyard barbecue. That's everything but what you would have imagined when you think about Napa.
And he's going to take us to a Pacific Grill oyster on the fire, and he's not going to shuck them, he's going to shuck them on the fire.
And most oysters that we get around here either come from Tomales Bay, which is only about 30 miles as the crow flies, but about an hour-and-a-half drive, even though it's 30 miles, or they come from Humboldt Bay, which is up almost at the Oregon border. So it ends up being like a bucket, and they're full of liquid, and they basically poach. And when they're almost ready, the shell will separate, the hinge will open up, and then you pop off the top and then dress them. And today we did some garlic, lemon, butter, and some traditional barbecue sauce. There's nothing like a barbecued oyster.
And it's a great way to introduce people to oysters that don't like the raw oysters.
Exactly.
Hey, Chef Boyardee's got nothing on me, okay? I just wanted to go on record.
Well, this is a great way, though. You have a bottle of wine and you do it little by little, right? I think I'll fit in right perfectly up here. We're thinking about opening a restaurant. It's a pop-up. 2 Danes and a bottle of wine.
Or a few bottles of wine.
Or a few bottles of wine, yeah.
Oh, that's a good name. Beautiful.
Look at that.
Local wines, grill food, and no pretension. This is exactly my speed. Just friends, good conversation, and char-grilled Pacific oysters. What a way to close out the day.
I can get into this backyard barbecue.
You like that? You like that?
I like it.
You get into this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You want to come back?
Absolutely. Next week.
We all need food to survive. Food is nourishment. Food is familiar. But what happens when you don't know when or where your next meal is coming from? Last year, over 49 million people received help from Feeding America's 200 partner food banks, sourcing and distributing healthy, nutritious food. We all need food to survive, but also to thrive. To find your nearest food bank and help make a difference, visit feedingamerica.org, because above all,
Day 2 in Napa Valley begins with a rendezvous with another friend of mine, Diana Hartford, who happens also to be an old student of Lars. We start the day by grabbing some tacos at a popular local spot called Mother's, before hitting the road to explore the artsier side of Napa Valley. Here at NBC Pottery, artists Nikki and Will has built a reputation for crafting pieces that they make specifically for the restaurant business.
It was really fun to have, chefs come up and be like, I want to do this and that and the other thing, and then we would create something and build prototypes out. And I always with Will and I think as artists, you always kind of wonder, how do you one up and change something or make it better? Everything, right? Working with chefs, it's like a tree, where the branches go and it's like one branch leads to another. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never be making this had it not been from that one person. So it's been all serendipity. My best accidents have been my best things. The biggest accidents have been the things that have carried, so that's, but that's the thing. I think with art and ceramics, it's the process.
A mistake's not really a mistake. You just gotta look at it and be like, oh, that's a great idea.
So these are at Alusa at the Four Seasons. And these were a really fun one because, like I said, out of the accident, just became something more refined and intentional. These guys are the caviar bowls that are at the restaurant at Meadowood. That started there, and that was a funny, happy accident as well, because Christopher came up and was like, what are you doing with these? And so it's an ice bowl, so they put ice in there, and they serve a cold soup.
Creating commissioned work for the likes of Thomas Keller and Skywalker Ranch, to name drop just a couple. What they do here is but a peek into the creative community that has grown in an almost symbiotic way to the wine industry here. Wine and art together. Are you really that surprised?
You've had your hand on everything.
Yes,
Well, that's
every
really
step.
cool too, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like
my fingers have heartbeats.
It's yeah.
Back in Napa, I've been summoned to meet Lars for lunch at a local food court of sorts. But because it's in Napa, it's one of the coolest food courts you've ever seen.
This is kind of a takeoff of a food hall from Europe.
Yeah.
No,
I love it.
Oxbow Market features local food vendors and suppliers and a whole menagerie of good stuff. Local oysters, wine, spices, and more.
The food is the center of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it.
Appropriately, we're having a little bit to eat at a place called Lovski.
I kind of think that would be a great place to go.
Cooking schools is such an interesting thing for me because remember I grew up with my dad being kind of the same thing you are. I would go somewhere and everybody would know who he was.
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere we went because it was all his students, right?
I often think about your dad and why we became friends. I don't exactly know why, but we became friends. At my young age, when I met him, I was not a very behaviorable student. I was not like the best student in the class. I was good, but I was not that good.
Napa has a Mediterranean climate. This makes it perfect for growing olive trees. For one Italian immigrant family, olive oil making became a business back in 1931. Fast forward to today, and they haven't let the tradition die. In fact, it's more popular now than ever.
This is how we start every day of the year. We sit down and we hand bottle our oil.
With imported Italian ingredients and the original olive oil press still sitting in the middle of the room. Stepping inside feels like being transported to an artisanal shop in old Italy, with all the cured meats, cheeses, and pasta imports that you can ever want.
I send along my students over here all the time. You gotta have a little slice of the old world.
In the back, an impromptu lunch is in the works. A little pan-fried focaccia and fresh olive oil.
This is new. I mean, for me, this is new. I've never seen cooking this
No,
in
it's
a pan.
a great
I
idea.
love it. I just love it. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but if you ask me, the simple things are underrated.
How do you say this in Italian? I want you to talk to me in Italian while I'm eating it. That's going to really enhance the sensation.
Questa qui è focaccia, 2 pomodorini semisecchi e la burrata.
Perfect, perfect. This is delicious.
It is delicious, yeah?
Real delicious.
Yeah.
Salute. Cibo e amore.
Food is love. All you need is love and olive oil. And there's people that prefer olive oil when they make love.
That's right.
Next, we are stopping to meet the crew at Farmstead, one of the most comprehensive farm-to-table operations anywhere.
It's farm to table, but it's on a scale and a level that I don't think a lot of people really understand.
You control the use of everything. There's nothing go in the trash can. Everything is used. I mean, there's no...
So it's real sustainable. Sourcing literally their entire menu from their own proprietary farm system.
Yeah. So we literally are growing, roughly 70% of the food that we serve and put on the table.
The amount of organization and planning it takes to pull off what they are doing here can't be overstated. Next door to Oxbow Market is where Lars spends most of his time these days. CIA Copia is considered a front-runner in the development of the next generation of hospitality and kitchen talent.
I'm really thrilled to show you this place. You're not going to believe that kitchen upstairs. I guarantee you're going to fall off. You're going to fall your ass.
An instructor here now for most of his career, Lars has been instrumental in seeding the industry with new blood and keeping the standard of excellence in the forefront.
This is where I meet them. This is where I grade them. They practice all the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Braising, grilling, sauteing, poaching, steaming, roasting, every single technique every day.
Today, I get to peek in on a class and see what's cooking. Literally. This state-of-the-art kitchen makes an incredible classroom, to be sure. Each student has been asked to prepare a dish.
What are you making, Clay?
Yes, today I'm making grilled octopus Greek salad.
Oh, that sounds great. So you're gonna grill, is this being pre-cooked already?
Yes.
Okay. Well, are you gonna season this a little bit up and grill it in a hot grill?
Yes, I'm gonna put it with harissa and some olive oil and throw it on our grill behind us.
How's it going, Katie?
It's going well. I think
Yeah.
it's a nice cream.
All right. Are you making the caponata you talked about earlier? I like that a lot. I can't wait to see your presentation, okay? I'll be back with it. You can bring something up for me in a little bit, right?
It's really interesting, our perspective of a cooking school, right, is so different. What we went through the same cooking program.
Yeah.
How much better it is today.
Oh, fantastic.
I mean, can you imagine if we were, introduced to all this stuff at an early age, right?
Yeah.
Because we kind of had blinders on.
We had. And we couldn't change anything.
No, I know.
Can I use rice vinegar instead of red vinegar? No.
Yeah, exactly.
It was only no. Yeah. There was never you can try that.
Yeah. And the dishes these students have put together would pass in any of the best restaurants I've eaten at. To be standing here now in such a revered place is both a treat and an honor. But it's even more special to me to see Lars leading the next generation. Meeting students and people that are interested in food it's so wonderful. It's heartwarming. I want to be an instructor now. If you could be a part of something like this is really love. Food is love here. That's the driving force behind this building. It's very impressive. It seems ironic that on my last day in Napa, Lars is taking me to a vineyard party, thrown by a local winemaker called Aaron Pott. Present is all the factors one might imagine. A DJ serving loud house music, wine, art, unbelievable views and beautiful people. Just the kind of thing I've been planning on avoiding. Totally Napa Valley. You look around, everybody's drinking, eating, the weather is perfect. But alas, there's also food, and that perks my interest. There's a lot of chefs here, and a lot of foodies. Maybe this isn't so bad after all. I shouldn't have doubted Lars, but there's only so many Daft Punk songs, wine samples, and party favors I can stomach in one day. Knowing this in advance, Lars had prepared a low-key get-together at his home to cap off our visit and say our goodbyes.
You better ask Roseanne about that before you want to upgrade. Probably do. Oh, that sounds good. For me, Lars is such a renaissance man. He reminds me of a forgotten era, where my dad was in it. So, I get emotional when I spend time with him and we talk about the past. We're gonna drink some wine and just having a good time and saying goodbye because we don't know exactly when we're seeing each other again.
Maybe it's because he knows me so well, or maybe it's our shared Danish heritage. But Lars and his wife has gathered an impressive collection of tinned fish for us to enjoy in his backyard.
And your dad, as I said, I don't exactly know why your dad and I became good friends. For some reason, we just connected with him, your dad. And because of that connection, we're sitting here today. And I don't exactly know what happened, but you just fell in love with America.
I did. Coming to Mill Valley and staying here and your enthusiasm about being here in the United States, I think it played a big part in me wanting to stay here. Really, I consider you family.
Same to me.
Yeah. So we need to keep it up.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, as family.
I
We're
love
brothers now.
Food is love.
Food is love.
Thank you so much, Lasse. Come here to California, and
I'm coming back.
Napa Valley is a special place. This trip has been a full circle moment. Seeing Lars in action, a former student of my father and mentor to me, in charge of teaching the kitchen arts to the next generation, is beautiful. In a sense, this has given me a chance to witness my dad's work continuing through one of his students. To put it very lightly, I'm inspired.
You have the best job in the world, in my opinion. That you get to experience that.
I do.
On a consistent basis.
Continuous basis.
And see all the talent that's developing in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
It gives me hope that we're gonna have good restaurants forever.
A couple of days here just doesn't seem long enough. It's bittersweet to see an old friend, catch up, just to say our goodbyes again. But this time, I'm leaving Napa Valley full, both in my stomach and my heart, which is exactly how it should be, because food is love.
Lars, here's to us Vikings, food is love. Wow, the balsamic vinegar, olive oil, fantastic. Okay, gumbo it is.
What if there was a way to feed the hungry and at the same time give them dignity?
The answer is this simple token.
We developed the currency of caring to act as a form of payment for participating restaurants and food trucks, and is a key to providing a warm, dignified meal to those who need it most.
You want to try something new?
Donations fuel the currency. Now helping feed others has never been easier.
Either as a participating restaurant, food truck operator, or as someone who wants to pay it forward by donating. Please visit currencyofcaring.com because food really is love.
How do you become the top online seafood company in the United States? You earn it. We are the only company that catches, processes, and directly sells seafood right to our customers. We have a 4.9 Google rating with over 800 reviews and the highest customer satisfaction. To have the best seafood delivered right to your door, order from the original, WildAlaskaSalmonandSeafood.com. Look for my face on the logo to ensure you're getting the best. Now you know the guy that caught your dinner.